Hi, so learning objectives can definitely be very confusing. You want to make sure that you're following guidelines and have the proper wording and the proper formatting. But what exactly is that? So I kind of came up with what I felt in using some of the resources that I've kind of learned from to kind of help you. So as defined by the Arizona State Online kind of website, learning objectives are statements that describe the specific knowledge, skills, or abilities students will be able to demonstrate in the real world as a result of completing a lesson. Learning objectives should not be assignment specific. However, an assignment should allow students to demonstrate they have achieved the lesson objectives or objective. All of the learning objectives should support the course outcomes. So it's very specific, but can also apply as a broader sense. What really helped me was kind of thinking about it through Bloom's taxonomy, which is just a kind of a structural method of organizing thoughts for learning objectives. It's a pyramid shape, so each level of the pyramid is based off of a cognitive domain. So things from the more complex you have are at the very top, but the least complex are at the very bottom. And these are based off of the cognitive skills we want the kids to be able to perform. Within each domain, there are several action verbs, subcategories that we kind of go from there. So for instance, the least complex cognitive domain, which is the remember. So if you want your kids to be able to remember things, you would go into this category. And then some of the action verbs in this subcategory are list, repeat, outline, things of that nature. For first grade students, I think this is where you really want to be and focus on. But depending on skill level, you may try something more complex or more advanced. And so when you're working on these, you really want to kind of hone in on, okay, which one of those action verbs would help my kids. So for instance, a lesson objective that I just came up with was list the primary distinctions between adjectives and adverbs and how we might be able to identify them in our text that we read. Once you kind of get familiar with these formattings and like Bloom's taxonomy and other resources that you may find that kind of help you learn that, you'll really get more comfortable, and then these learning objectives, writing them and coming up with them will become much easier.